What is up, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the round two race of Zoom Racing League in Division 4. My name is Peter Giordano, and today I'm here joined by Sid, our two-time Division 2 champion. Sid, how are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good myself. How about you, Peter?
I'm doing great. I'm looking forward to some D4 action. Excited to see what's gonna happen at this quite tricky and technical circuit. So yeah, can't wait to get underway.
Yeah, likewise. I really enjoy this circuit. It might not be the greatest for overtaking, but just for one lap, it's amazing. It's one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a lap that flows very well. It's just a joy to drive, in my opinion. Nice technical middle sector, just really fun overall.
Yeah, it's a really fun track, and I think qualifying is going to be really crucial here because if you start at the back, then you're going to have to overtake a lot of people, which is going to be tricky at this circuit. The only overtaking spot is basically turn 1 and turn 2. Other
Right.
than that, you just have to stay in the train.
Yeah, exactly. And turn two is it's barely an overtaking spot unless you get a really good switchback out of turn one, so kind of rare to find an overtake there, even then. Gonna be riding on board with Zarky, who's probably gonna be the first person to cross the line. I actually have some inside information that from Flowseed that Zarky could be D2 pace. So I'm interested to see what he can do here in D4.
Yeah. Team principals like to hype up their drivers, of course. No one wants to discourage a driver before the race. So we'll see how true those claims are.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, his lap looks pretty decent so far, heading into the Sector 2 chicane, which I always find a bit tricky personally. Get a lot of understeer there. But he's looking like he's keeping it pretty together.
Yeah, so far it looks like a quite safe banker. No major risks.
Yeah, definitely. Just about finishing the lap, coming through turn 13. It's a little bit of a snap on the exit, but nothing too crazy, just showing that he's pushing the limits of the grip. Flies open the DRS and sets a banker lap of a 117.1. Interesting. As
Next
we
to
get a
cross the
Williams,
line was supposed to be B. Brian the Williams, but he
yeah,
spun at the last corner.
should be George
So
Russo, familiar face, with a 119.2. Florida with a 118.2. We have the two Red Bulls coming across the line. Big Elbro and Christian Cummins both getting into the top 5 respectively.
great lap by Christian, 17.7.
Then we have Hokage about to cross the line. Goes P5. One of the Ferrari
Labib,
decides that it's time to go into pits. Yep.
yeah. Rigraph about to round the final corner,
See what he
crossing
can
the
do.
line,
Goes
and
P2.
it's P2.
So really solid lap from Zarky. I'm already 4 tenths ahead of the rest of the field. Looks like
Yeah,
Shutter is next.
that seems like a great banker for Zaki.
Yeah,
No one
definitely.
has been able to come close.
Like to see what I'd like to ride on board with Kahuna for this lap. She's about to start it.
The Alpine does sound quite beautiful to me.
Yeah, definitely one of the better sounding cars in my opinion. I think the Red Bull was a good, or at least the Honda engine last year was a good sounding car, as Kahuna was a bit deep into turn 2. I feel like this year it's been muted a little bit.
I agree. Last year I used to love the Honda engine, and now it's the Alpine.
Yeah. personally, and this is no bias, I think the Ferrari engine is the best sounding.
That is definitely biased. The
Well,
Ferrari engine just hurts my ear. Not gonna
really,
lie.
it's a bit painful
It's
to
so
my
high
ears to
pitched.
hear that. I love it. I love
Uh,
it.
I love you too, Peter.
Someone that I'm actually very excited to see today is Forza Abdul. Coming in from ORL, he's going to be a reserve today from McLaren. There's a bit of a history with ORL. There was a bit of beef a while ago. Not even completely sure what that was ever about. But seems to be resolved now. Revis and Duncan went on a podcast with them. And, it looked like they were having a good time. And now we have
Yeah,
Abdul racing for us.
let's see what he can do as we ride on board with him.
See what he can do coming to turn 2. Wider entry than you see from most people, but takes a nice late apex. And yeah,
bit
it
of a
turns a
moment there.
bit too aggressively. But kept it together at least.
And he has not abandoned the lap yet. That's quite surprising to me. But he might just want... Oh,
Yeah, I think,
I might have
it.
just cursed him there.
A little bit of a
I'm
curse
sorry,
there.
Abdul. Yeah. So
Labib.
let's ride on board with Labib.
Yeah, Labib starting his lap. Last week's winner in B4. See what he can
halfway
do.
through qualifying and he hasn't set a time yet.
Yeah, his last lap, unfortunately, he had to abandon because you said a broken front wing, I believe.
That is interesting. Front wings are something which are going to be very crucial here.
Yeah,
Don't want to break
definitely.
those into turn 1.
Front wings and track limits, I think, will be two crucial aspects of this race. Super easy to go wide, especially at corners like turn 4 and turn 10.
Yep. Labib keeping it pretty tight.
Yeah, definitely looks like a pretty solid lap. Might get stuck in a little bit of traffic with the AlphaTauri ahead.
A bit of dirty air definitely going to affect his lap.
Yeah,
rounding
probably.
the final corner, about to cross the line in
Still
P3.
goes P3. Only 3 thousandths behind his teammate Rigraff. And I mean, you have to wonder what kind of time Labib could have put in if he wasn't stuck in any dirty air.
I think that might have cost him a tenth at least. He went purple through the middle sector. He lost time in the last sector.
Yeah. So Buffalo Trace, everyone's favorite Alfa Romeo driver, everyone's favorite team principal, of course, seemed to be largely up on his previous time. He's coming across the line now. Moves up to P11, 1 second faster than his last attempt.
Solid attempt. Still a lot more time, and the times will definitely continue to improve as the track gets rubbered in.
Definitely.
Trip about to start a lap. The only lap he has done is definitely not representative.
Let's see if we can get on board with
that's a Red Bull sideways.
Oh, yeah. Doesn't look like he's out. That's the Red Bull of Big Ale Bro, since Christian Cummins is in the pits. Oh yeah, it looks like he kept it going. So all good. But he was coming out just as Rigraff passed, so I'm not sure if his drip goes around, unfortunately. I'm not sure if that hampered Rigraff a little bit. It's actually riding with him.
I'm not sure if it did. He did a purple first sector, 2 tenths up on his time.
I mean, you can never trust Codemasters with that. They always like to lie about purple sectors on the minimap, at least.
That is true, but I did definitely saw that he's 2 turns up on the first sector. Let's see what
Wow.
he does in the second sector.
A little bit wide at the
Oh,
apex
misses
of
the apex a
10,
bit.
yeah.
Still 3.5 turns up. This should be a good lap.
Definitely solid lap. Good fight for contention of provisional pole position. It's rig
Keeps it
graph
tight.
rounding turn
Yeah.
14. Goes
And it's
P1
provisional
just by a
pole.
little bit, but
Wow.
Zarky is also on a lap in sector 2 at the moment. See what he can do. Right on board with him.
He's barely up on his time.
I believe he's
800 per
abandoned his
second.
lap. Yeah, I think he's
Oh,
abandoned.
yeah, he abandoned his lap
Yeah.
now.
Who's the next driver to cross the line? That is going to be Shutter down in P10. He stays
Does
the
not
same.
improve.
Cannot find room to improve. So I believe Hokage. No, Hokage is going into the pits. Ponder the Fox. There we go. Aston Martin. Also going to the pits.
Heading to the pits.
Yep. Abdul. Yes, Abdul. There we go. We found someone on the lap. Bit wide through turn 13.
Yeah, that did not look particularly fast, but let's see what he can do. Rounding the final corner now. And it's a
14.
P14. 19.3. George Russell might be on the lap. No, he's going to the pits. Shutter might be on the lap.
Shutter with 5% battery left. I doubt he's going to be improving. Probably just rushing to get into the pits. No, he's
he's going to complete the lap.
So let's see what he can do.
Yeah, he might be up on a sign, wanting to finish the lap.
And he was up in his time, but he stayed in the same position, unfortunately. Zarky comes
It's a very minor improvement.
Yeah.
14 milliseconds.
Oh, Beeb's on a hot lap. But it's actually a 10th down on his time.
No, yeah.
So if I were to Beeb, I would say, all right, let's come into the pits, get a fresh set of tires on, and do a new lap. But Beeb opts to stay out.
Yeah.
See if he found some improvement in Sector 3. And does, but not enough to take the spot from Zarky. So he's probably going to be rushing to the pits to get back.
That might prove to be a crucial decision there.
Yeah, definitely.
Choosing to stay out instead of going to the pits.
4 minutes left, so he might have time as Black jumps up to P8. Impressive lap from him.
Very impressive. Also, I would like to mention Seb in the Mercedes. He's a reserve and he's doing a pretty solid job so far.
Yeah, definitely. Mercedes has a lot of reserve drivers, so.
Okay. Labib is rushing to get into the pits.
Yeah, I think Aaron G is going to be our next driver across the line. No, as he goes into the pits. So that actually be Buffalo. Unless he decides it's time to pit.
No, Buffalo about to cross the line. And does improve by 3 tenths.
Yeah. Solid lap from him. Who's next across the line? Bedbury? No, Bedbury just started his lap.
Drip is on the flying lap. Right on board with him.
Yeah.
Although he's 2 tenths down in the first sector.
Both the Ferraris still in the pits right now, so interesting.
That might be a bit nerve-wracking for you as the Ferrari team
Yeah, a little,
principal.
just a bit. So
Oh, Drip
yeah,
is around.
Drip just having a rough qualifying today.
I think this is the same place that he spun out last time, isn't it?
I
I
think you're right, actually.
Yeah, it is a tricky corner. I can give him that.
Arrow in P19 still hasn't been able to set a valid lap time, so that could prove to be very
Let's ride on
I
board
just can't think of the word.
with Gibbs as he's probably about to do his only lap of the session.
That's sure thing is actually we do have both Ferraris on their out laps, and they should make it across the line, so all is well in my mind.
That is quite comforting. Riding on board with Gibbs. Oh, he's on an out lap. My bad.
Oh, you're right. I'd actually like to see what Zarky. Oh, Zarky's invalidated, so I think unless Zarky has enough fuel and for another run, that could be it for Zarky, which could prove disastrous for his hopes of pole position today.
I believe he does have enough fuel. His fuel light isn't flashing.
All right, and I don't think that you actually have to have enough fuel to finish the lap. And Arrow goes around, so still cannot find a lap.
Yeah, the P19 might be the best he's gonna get in this qualifying session.
Possibly. I'm trying to see who's on a lap. Bedry, I believe, is going to be the next across the line.
Both the
Yes.
Ferraris have started the laps.
Very interesting. Hopefully they can do their thing. Bedry is actually slower than his last outing. So it's actually going to be Shutter
Yeah.
next. Shutter just barely improves, but not enough to take another spot. Big Ailbro goes across the line, but cannot improve.
Cannot improve.
Christian Cummins isn't looking to improve yet.
Christian Cummins is down on his time. I believe he's gonna go into the pits.
And
So
alright, so
it's
Gibbs about
shootout
to set his
for
first
pole
lap.
between Ferrari and Haas.
Yeah, definitely. I'd like to see actually Zarky. Zarky is a 10th down or up, a 10th better than his previous best. So he actually did have enough fuel. It's about to round the final corner, come across the line. He's actually
Does
cannot
not improve.
So the newest Ferrari across the line is Labib is actually spun out and broken his front wing. So that is it for Labib. Rigraph comes across the line and improves even further to a 116.8, the only driver in the 116 so far. We have Black, who still needs to finish their lap. Actually, ahead of Black, we have Shutter.
Has Black spins around in the last sector.
And Shutter actually spins around in the last corner too, so, you know, commentator's curse going on big time right there.
And I believe that is it. Unless Bibra has something to say about that.
Yeah,
oh, no,
let's see
he
what
doesn't.
Bedry can do.
He's already in the 135s. Yeah.
Right, so, well, ladies and gentlemen, that is your starting grid for tonight's race. We have Rigraph on pole by 0.3 of a second. Great lap from him with the 116.8. Then we have Zarky and the Haas filling in P2. I've forgotten who is P3 already, so you're just going to have to give me a second.
That is actually Seb in the Mercedes, the reserve driver for Mercedes. Yeah, we missed it, but it was a good job from him.
Good job to him. Labib in 4th to give Ferrari a 1-4. Christian Cummins in 5th for Red Bull. Then we have Condor the Fox, Florida, Black, George Russell, and Aaron G to round out the top 10. Then we have Forza Abdul, Hokage Roldy, Buffalo Trace, Shutter, Big Elbro, Gibbs, Kahuna, Bedry, Drip, and Arrow rounding out the grid. So we're
quite an unpredictable qualifying session.
Yeah, definitely. You wouldn't think Big Elbow would be that far down, and Shutter actually. Shutter usually is much higher than that as well. So we're just gonna take a
Yeah.
quick intermission before the race, and catch you guys in a second.
Okay.
Alright, so we are back for the formation lap. It looks like it's going to be a dry race. The sun is out, so don't think there's going to be any rain today. Sid, I'd like to hear your predictions for this race, or at least, you know, a driver that you think is gonna do well.
I'm gonna be straight up and pick the boring choice. I think Labib is gonna end up in the top 2 at least, and I believe that Buffalo Trace will move up in the top 10 too. Both drivers doing really well for the team.
Solid prediction, yeah, solid prediction. I mean, with Labib moving to the top 2, both Seb and Zarki are pretty quick, and it is a hard track to overtake. So it could be interesting to see how that plays out. And Buffalo Trace, we know, is more of a race guy than a qualifying guy. So I like that prediction actually a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Buffalo Trace is the type of racer who will keep it clean and gain positions on people who make mistakes.
Yeah, exactly.
And yeah, this track is quite easy to make a mistake at.
Definitely. Any insights on what strategy is going to be looking like today?
The strategy looks like everyone except 2 people have started on the mediums, RNG and Kahuna on the hards. So that should be interesting. No one opting for the softs.
Yeah, softs are not a great tire on this year's Game in the Race, especially with this new patch and the tire temperature model. But anyways, let's put that aside, because it's 5 lights. And away we go. Really difficult to actually see what's happening at the start. Looks like Rigraph's gotten a good start. Labib has taken Seb on the start. Looks like he's bogged down a little bit. Seb is actually going to be going 3 wide, possibly. No, looks like they kept it clean overall. So it's Rigraph from Zarki. But
going side by side.
Going side by side with Rigraph through turn 2 and gets the position over him into turn 3, so really solid racing between them 2.
And there's a yellow flag. That's Hokage in the Williams.
Yeah, unfortunately, Hokage, see if he has any damage. Doesn't look like it. Looks like it's just a spin, so
it should be good to carry on.
Yeah,
another yellow for an Alpine. That's Kahuna.
Let's see if actually Kahuna has any damage. Also just looks like a spin. But, whoa, as Seb is trying to go around the outside of Labib. Labib covers it off nicely. Looks like clean racing from those 2. big winner here would be Arrow, jumping up 10 spots, all the way from
Wow.
dead last to P10. Really solid start from him.
That is an amazing lap one.
As with Abdul going down the inside of Christian Cummins. I think he's gonna take that spot into turn 1, and yes, he does.
And he
Manages
does.
to
He
get the
makes it
better
straight.
exit too. Yeah, really good. And that invites Aaron G into the party. Just looks like he's gonna think better of it.
Yeah, Christian coming smartly defending the inside and covering it off well.
Definitely. It's like George Russo.
Oh, Labib is around. Labib has
Oh
spun.
no, Labib, why have you done this to me? No! Labib dropping down to 14th position, 15th position. Might
Doesn't
even
look
possibly
like-
lose out.
Doesn't look like there's any damage.
No, I don't think so. Yeah, it looks just like it was a spin. Super unfortunate for Labib. But there he goes. The AWS predicted strategy comes up with a one-stop from medium to hard being the safest bet. As we see Drip go around just in front of Labib. Just unfortunate spin from him.
Yeah, as we said, this is quite a technical circuit, so we probably are going to see a lot more of these spins.
Yeah, for
As
sure.
Seb does the fastest lap of the race.
Zarki's already pulled out 1.1 second-ish gap over Rigraf. So if Rigraf's gonna want any chance at a win, he's gonna need to
And
get
Trip
back
retires.
into the DRS. Yes, he
Trip
does.
has DNF.
Will that be a safety car or a virtual safety car? I wonder. Doesn't
look like
it. No.
Yeah. They might have
look.
cleared it already.
Labib gets around George Russo just as I go off of them, so apologies for that. Yeah, super unfortunate for Labib to have dropped this far down this early. Looks like Black very close to the back of Aaron G.
So now Habib is going to be pushing all the way to the end, trying to make up as many positions as possible. As
Oh,
a
yeah,
championship
definitely.
leader, you don't want to lose a lot of points when you have
Yeah.
bad races like these.
Right. I mean, we see it in real life, you know. Charles Leclerc can't, if he's fighting for a championship, he cannot be making the mistakes such as the one that he did in France.
That is definitely true. Championship battles definitely put a lot of pressure on the driver.
Sorry to interrupt, but we have Rigraf attacking Zarki for the lead. Zarki goes a bit deep in the braking zone, and I believe Rigraf has taken that position, and he does. Has the DRS down to turn 2 as well, and covers the inside nicely. So Rigraf is your new leader of the race.
Wow, that was a pretty solid move. And Zaki dumping his ERS, which is quite pointless at turn 4. But
Yeah,
he's
Zarki
sticking quite
definitely
close to him, putting a lot of pressure on Rigraf.
super eager to get around Rigraf. Zarki with about the same amount of ERS, just has a 10% disadvantage to Rigraf. But the top 3 have already pulled out 2.5 seconds to Condor in 4th.
Yeah, this is starting to look a bit like real life F1, where the top 3 or 4 just
Yeah.
pull away from the rest.
Definitely, as Labib getting very close to the back of Aaron G. Labib with the better tires, choosing to have the mediums on the start.
Yep, and RNG won't be having any DRS this next straight, so Labib will be able to get past him pretty easily.
Yeah, it depends. Labib's actually dropped a little bit these last couple turns. So Labib not using his ERS either. Aaron G only 46%. Sorry for that. As opposed to Labib's 85. So
Labib should be using DRS and trying to make these moves as soon as possible. I
yeah,
don't know
definitely.
what he's thinking, but he's clearly a winner, a past winner. He knows what he's doing.
Right. I mean, you want to get these moves done as soon as possible because the race is... Christian Cummins goes around, as soon as I hop on board with him, resets the track. and unfortunately is going to be losing a couple positions. That will help out Labib nicely, I'll say, as Labib actually
Yo.
goes off track. Probably got a bit distracted, possibly startled by the ghost of Christian Cummins.
And we have another yellow. That
Is
is
that be
Condor, the
Condor? Yeah.
fox. Yeah, spins around from P4.
But
That gives the position to Florida.
yeah, but that puts Arrow up into
Wow.
P6. Super impressive, and what's even more impressive is to get that ring is pulled out while we haven't been looking at Seb is actually looking to take that P2 spot.
Zarki struggling a bit. I think he might have pushed his tires a little too much at the start, and now he's paying the price for it.
Yeah, it definitely could be the case. Zarky, maybe he didn't pay too much attention to the new patch and the tire pressures that you now have to run, as opposed to what you used to be able to get away with.
Very true. He might be understeering all over the place. Yeah, which does seem to be the case.
Yeah, it's already almost a second back from Seb. Yeah, there you go. That's a second. So I'm gonna have to guess that it's something with the tires, but look at Abdul actually up in P5. Really solid race from him.
Yeah, Abdul and Aero doing a really amazing job. Doing
Definitely.
a recovery race after not a great qualifying session for either of them. And Florida up into P4, all the way from how many positions? Yeah, 3 places up for Florida as well.
Yeah. I'm actually going to pause to fix something. Just give me 1 second, ladies and
Okay.
gentlemen.
We took the spot into turn 1, and now Aaron has taken it back down into turn 2. So
Sorry, I missed that, folks. But yeah, Aaron, if you didn't hear Sid, that was actually might have still been an intermission when he was explaining that. Labib and Aaron G had a bit of a scrap to cause them to switch places. So. But Labib is right back on the back of Aaron.
yeah, this is proving a lot more difficult than I thought it would be for Labib to pass Aaron.
Definitely, but Labib still not using much ERS at all. Goes wide into turn 10, but yeah, he has a huge advantage over Aaron G ahead of him. But this is yeah, it gets a little squirrely. This is just inviting Christian Cummins in.
It definitely is, and Labib might even be out of the DRS.
Actually, now Labib
Because
has
of that
just got
moment.
it at the detection point.
Yeah, it did. It seems like the early mistake has costed Labib his confidence. He's not driving as well as we expect him to.
Yeah, that could be the case. Labib, we know.
Another
Yeah,
moment.
there you go. We know Labib is a great driver. Yeah, possibly a little bit shaken up. Even from the start of quali, Labib was he made 2 mistakes. Only got in, I believe, 1 lap for all of qualifying. So yeah, who knows?
Definitely something to look at as the Ferrari team principal. The closest battle we have in the top 5 is Florida closing up on Zaki now. Zaki might be really struggling with his tire temperatures.
Yeah, it looks
And
like it.
I think the better move would be to move on to the hards, as there is this temperature better than the mediums. What do you think?
Yeah, probably. I mean, Zarky, he's probably gonna be panicking a little bit right now, thinking, "Why am I losing all these spots? Why am I understeering so much?" Yeah, probably the best option is to move on to the hard tire as soon as he possibly can, because it's just that much easier to keep your temperatures under control.
Yeah,
Looks like
I'm not sure if he has an engineer to tell him that, but that is
possibly not.
something that is the only option he has, to be honest.
Looks like Labib's gonna go around the outside of Aaron G. Went a little bit wide. I don't think he went off track, but looks like he's gonna get that moved on. And if he can keep it, he's gonna want to chase down Shutter as fast as he can.
Yeah, finally making the most stick.
As
And
we
there's
have
another yellow flag.
Abdul, unfortunately, is spun on the exit of turn 5. We're actually riding on board Labib, about to come up on that, so unfortunate for Abdul. Was running a great race, and it's
Spins
actually
around
spun
again.
again. Yeah, those hot tires.
Yeah, that's bad luck for him. He was
Definitely.
having
And
solid
oh,
race.
he's stranded. Oh no, he isn't. Okay, never mind. Never mind. Sorry about that.
But that does help out the championship leader. Labib moves up
Definitely.
another spot.
Definitely. And he's actually, because of that, has pulled a little bit of a gap to Aaron G. So very, very fortunate in that moment. So you have Florida closing down on Zarki, is really close on this attempt. Gonna be making a move down into turn 2. On the
Side by side.
inside, bit of contact being made between the two. Sarki just able to keep it ahead, but you can tell that he is struggling.
Yeah, and I believe that Florida is running quite lower downforce than Zaki, because he was just blowing past him onto the run down to turn 2,
Yeah.
and that's not even that long of a straight.
Right. As we actually have Abdul in the pits, I wonder if he was getting a wing change. Don't know, but what he did do was get new tires. He's put on the hard tire. Bibrai is joining him.
As at the back of the pack, we have Big Elbro closing up on Buffalo Trace and Hokaj.
Yeah.
That should be quite a crucial move for Big Elbro to make, considering he's covering for the combined constructors champion last season,
Right.
Red Bull Racing.
Yeah, Big Elbro isn't someone that you would normally expect to be this far down. I would know. He drove for me last season and was, I would say, one of the most consistent drivers on the grid. Was almost always in the top 10 unless he had some sort of unfortunate DNF. So a bit odd to see him down here, especially as a first pick.
Yeah, it might just be adapting to the new cars, which he's having a problem with, because I've noticed that he's short shifting quite a lot, which is not something you would want to do with the new batch. But everyone has their own driving style, so I can't really say that one is right and one isn't.
I've actually been short shifting quite a lot.
Exactly, and you're quite a lot faster than me, so ignore me. I don't know what I'm talking about.
Labib, on his recovery drive, has actually closed the gap to Shutter. I believe it was around 2 seconds. Now he's within DRS range, so really impressive stuff from him.
Yeah, Labib definitely has the pace. He just needed to get past Aaron G. That was slowing down his progress by quite a lot.
Yeah, Labib with a massive battery advantage over Shutter has 62% compared to Shutter's around 20%. As Florida's gone around. Some sort of incident with Florida. There might have been some sort of incident between Florida and Zarki.
Florida. Oh.
Not entirely sure. Labib gets past Shutter. No, they're side by side. Labib just ahead into turn 3. There might have been some contact between the two, but it looks like they're going to be going side by side up into turn 4. No, Shutter just backs out, so Labib is going to be staying ahead there.
Shutter thinks better of it, and rightly so. That is not a corner you would want to go side by side into.
Yeah, definitely not. Super risky. It's better to just, especially with 23 laps left in the race, it's better to just wait and try to get him back on the next DRS straight.
Exactly. Labib's charge back through the field has been quite impressive so far, but now he has a big gap to make up to Aero up
Yeah.
into P5.
Yeah, I'm just gonna take a note, like a little personal mental note. That gap right now is 6.8 on 6.97 seconds. I'd like to see how that gap changes within the next couple of laps, if it's going to be changing at all.
Oh,
So,
and Florida is around. We might have cursed him a lap too early, but yeah, he is around, and Aero gets past him.
yeah, you're right.
Labib is gonna catch up soon as well.
Be closing quickly in Florida. Florida is gonna have hot, hot tires too.
Definitely.
Definitely not ideal with this new patch, especially.
Yeah, he seems to be tiptoeing around the corners. He needs to take it easy.
Starting to see more and more people pit as we actually have Condor the Fox, the latest driver, into the pits. So I wonder
That
if
is interesting.
yeah, I wonder if he's trying to go for some sort of undercut. Not entirely sure.
But I believe now might be the time to pit because you don't want to take these medium tires much longer than this point, right? You don't want to take them till halfway point of the race. They might be
Yeah,
wearing out quite fast.
yeah. I mean, it's a tough one to judge because how the hard tire and the medium tire operate. You want to give the hard tire a couple laps to come into its own. So
That is
yeah,
quite
we
true.
might start to see some pit stops soon. And there we go, George Russo's coming into the pits.
Yeah. Now this might be the time for all the engineers to call in the drivers into the pits.
Yeah,
But as I've heard, with these new regulations, the tires coming out of the pits are much lower in temperature,
right.
which might make the overcut a great option.
Yeah, could be. As we actually just saw Black, unfortunately, spin around as I was riding on board with Aaron G. It doesn't look like there are any close battles on track right now.
The most recent battle we have seen is Christian Cummins and Florida with track limits, both getting 3-second time penalties.
Yeah, that could be crucial right now. Florida would be losing just one spot to Labib, and Christian Cummins actually would be just staying put. So
Yeah, the field has spread out a bit. Rigraph comfortably leading the race. Although Seb has managed to build up quite a lot of battery.
yeah, definitely Seb with 90%. Rigraph count on 65 is using a bit more than Seb is. So Seb just seems to be managing the battery. He knows that there's plenty of time left in this race. Anything could happen. We could get a safety car. Rigraph could possibly make a mistake. Knock on wood, of course. Um, who knows? But 2.2 seconds, although it is a gap, it's not an impossible gap to make up, especially with 20 laps to go.
Yeah, I believe he should be a bit more aggressive than this, but it's his race to run, and he seems to be doing a good job of it. P2 is still a quite solid result for a reserve to come in.
Yeah, definitely. Big L, bro. Close to the back of Kokage Roldy. Arrow,
As
the
Aero comes into the pit,
first of the front runners in. Thing is,
this might
Rigraph.
trigger.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, this might trigger all the rest of the drivers to come into the pits.
Definitely. Thing is, Rigraph doesn't have to worry about an undercut or an overcut. He can honestly just hit the lap after Seb does. No problem.
Very true.
He'll have plenty of
He just
margin.
He just needs to keep his head calm and run his own race right now.
Exactly.
No pressure from behind, no pressure ahead. So it looks to me he's pushing a bit. He might be coming into the pits this lap. This might be an in lap.
Let's see what he does. No,
And it
decides to
isn't.
stay out. What about Seb? Seb comes into
Yeah,
the
Seb is
pits.
coming in. So
So
this is
you,
going to be interesting.
yeah, you'd have to assume that that Rigraph is going to be pitting next lap, as Seb has a bit of a slow entry.
That is quite a slow entry. He braked way earlier than he should have, but
Yeah, that could have cost him probably a second, maybe. So
so
we'll see
before the
where
pit
he goes
stops, the
out.
gap was 2.2 seconds. We will see what it is after Regraph pits.
And Labib is actually coming to the pits as well.
Yes, and
Possibly
clean
trying
pit
for
stop
an
for him.
undercut. Alright, let's see. Seb on these fresh, hard tires, these cold, fresh, hard tires. How long will it take for him to get those up to temperature? And will he cut down on the gap that Rigraph has been able to pull out on him? Rigraph sees quite a bit of battery this lap, so I'm gonna be guessing that this is an in lap.
Yeah, that's what I would be guessing. Yeah, he's coming to the pits now.
Yep,
This is very crucial. The pit entry.
for sure. Definitely, he doesn't want to break too early, but he also doesn't want to get a time penalty. Looks like
Yeah,
it was better than Seb's entry.
that was definitely better than Seb's. As Seb is surrounding the penultimate corner now, Regraph is way up ahead of him.
Yeah, riding on board with Seb. Let's see what is going to be happening.
Yeah, that's a massive overcut. I think Regraph has gained a lot of time there.
See, I was Rigraph. Pits, yeah, it's about 4 seconds now. But
Yeah,
we're gonna wait just a little bit because Rigraph tires still have to come up to temperature, so
that is true. Florida right onto the back of Regraph with
yeah,
warmer tires
exactly.
decides to back off.
Looks like it's
So now,
about 2.7 second gap.
yeah, that
Seb
seems
just
to be right.
gaining rapidly.
2.7.
Yeah, so oh, now 2.3. So Seb gaining rapidly on Florida as Raygraph is waiting for his tires to warm up.
Now, Florida might be a bit of a roadblock for Seb here.
Definitely,
It would be it
go
would
for it.
help him quite a lot if Florida pits this lap. Let's see what
Yeah,
he
for
does.
sure. At the same time, I
And
mean,
he
he
stays
could
out.
get with the speed that Seb has right now, the pace advantage over Florida could be a bit of a DRS launch. As Seb, he sets the fastest lap. I mean, yeah, going
Yeah,
very
Seb is
quickly.
flying right now. He's pushing his battery quite a lot.
Now he's only 1.6, 1.7
Oh,
seconds
as
behind
Florida
Rigraph.
is around.
So yeah, that gives Seb P3 2 seconds behind Rigraph. So he's actually been able to make up time.
It's hammer time for Seb right now. Where he's pushing hard, making up time on Regraph.
Yeah,
And
100%.
Regraph is encountering some back markers. That must be annoying. That may have cost him a tenth or two.
Yeah,
As
just a
Seb
little bit.
is closing the gap every corner.
Are you aware whether or not you get dirty air from back markers?
I think you do. I'm pretty sure you do.
Okay.
More so than the dirty air, it's about spotting the apexes and the breaking points for me,
Right.
which causes the problems. But now this is going to be helpful. This is going to give Seb the DRS, the back marker.
Yeah, that's
And it
definitely gonna be
does.
That's going to be huge for Seb. Let's see how much time he gains with that.
1.5 without before the DRS and
It was only about a tenth, really.
10. But there's another DRS zone right here, so yeah, it doesn't seem to be that effective.
Probably not. Possibly Rigref was using some battery. Yeah, he was, because at the start of the pit straight, he was at 70%, now down to 43. But Seb down to 30% as he sets a purple first sector right now. So
Yes, Seb is just hammering right now. He's going all out. Great to watch.
Seb and Rigref are coming close to the back of Zarky, who's still out. One of only 3 drivers yet to pit.
I think he might be banking on the late safety car because I don't know what else the strategy could be. Maybe medium to soft? Do you think that's a viable strategy?
I don't think so, no. I think the medium soft, it just doesn't work out. Those softs don't last long enough. They're only good for a couple laps.
Yeah, this seems to be quite an out strategy decision from Zaki.
For sure.
Wonder what's going on in the Haas garage.
It's like that gap between Rigref and Seb is just staying a bit consistent.
Yeah, it's starting to stagnate a bit and even increase. It's increasing. The gap is now for some reason.
As Abdul is the latest to fall victim to track limits in the FIA.
Unfortunate for Abdul having a tough race, tough weekend.
Started out really strong at the beginning of the race, but has unfortunately turned out to be less than favorable.
Definitely.
Zarky in Florida.
Hopping on board with our championship leader, Labib. He's currently a net P4. That is a great recovery from him after that early spin.
For sure, yeah. And I believe he was actually 6 seconds behind Arrow just a lap or two ago. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Yeah, he might have been. I'm not exactly sure. But solid job from Labib. Great comeback.
I'm gonna go back into the stream and check that.
So the only 2 drivers yet to pit are Florida and Zaki on 21 lap old medium tires. And at this point, they're just waiting for a safety car to come out.
I apologize. The beat was 5 seconds behind, but I mean, to make up 2 seconds is really impressive so far.
Impressive indeed. Florida on those old medium tires seem to be tiptoeing around corners. It might just be better to come into the pits at this point. What do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I think I definitely do think he's trying for a medium soft, but I think at this point you just have to accept that it's not going to work and move on to the hard tire.
Yeah, as Rigraf is about to close in on Zaki, he can see him down the main straight. 2.8 seconds is the gap.
Yeah, I mean, and before, Zarky was in 3rd place, you know, as Florida finally goes into the pits. Zarky was in 3rd place, and now he's about to be passed after Rigraf has already pit. Not sure if that soft strategy would work.
Down at this point. So this strategy is not ideal.
Yeah, Florida's come in and put on the soft tire. So
that should be quite interesting for Zaki.
Definitely.
The Haas engineers will definitely keep an eye out on Florida's times.
Florida's definitely going to be rapid, but the question is, will those tires be able to stay cool enough to be in a working window?
And to be able to do it for 12 laps, that is that is quite a challenge.
For sure. Unless some sort of safety car happens. I don't know.
I don't think it's gonna be great for Florida. The tires are gonna be really hot and they're gonna be worn down at the end.
Yeah, probably not. Zarky still staying out. Seb's starting to close the gap to Rigraph just a bit. Rigraph with 20% more battery.
So the gap from Seb to Aero seems to be quite a massive gap.
Yeah,
20
definitely.
seconds.
Labib,
So the top three to be honest, but it's net top two. Those are just in a league of their own
for sure.
this weekend.
Labib still closing in on Arrow though. Was 5 seconds, now down to 2.2-ish. So yeah, really impressive, but if you look closely, Seb is getting closer and closer to the back of Rigraph. And that could be because the dirty air from Zarky.
Yeah, I believe Zaki might hold up Rigraph a bit here.
Definitely. Rigraph's
He's
gonna
gonna do
need to
his
clear.
best.
Yeah, Rigraph's
Zaki
gonna need
has
to
quite a
clear.
lot of ERS as well.
I'd be a bit surprised if Zarky goes into the pits. So that could be good for Rigraph, but Seb is
Seb gets
within.
DRS.
Yeah, Seb gets DRS. Rigraph also has the DRS, but this Force Abdul gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. Bit odd how that happened. But Rigraph is going to be very happy that that he has DRS on those two straights.
Now Zaki into the pits and onto the soft tires. Let's keep an eye on him and see how much of a gap he can make to the cars
Definitely.
behind him.
Honestly, my prediction is that Zarky's going to bring the gap down to maybe 10 seconds before those tires start to drop off and we start to see the times become more even.
But remember, at the start of the stint, he started to struggle with tire temperatures, as we
Yeah.
believe. So that might
Exactly.
be an even bigger issue on the softs. So it's going to be really interesting to keep an eye on.
Definitely. As Rigraph has pulled the gap back out over a second. So interesting between
So
the two leaders.
yeah, the Ferraris seem to be doing well as Labib has caught on to the back of Aero, 3 tenths behind him with a full battery, and Aero is almost under 10%.
Rigraph sets the fastest lap of the race, going into the 19s.
Graf doing a great job of keeping Seb out of his DRS, pushing exactly at the right moments. He's being very smart with his driving today. I'm impressed.
Definitely Rigraph, I'd say one of the top drivers in D4, if not the top driver in D4. Super glad that I could continue working with him this season as Labib goes for a dive down the inside of Arrow. Great move. Arrow goes off track. I'm not sure if that was Labib forcing him off track or not, but
it might have been that may be an incident for the stewards to look at, but as of now the move is done and Labib is clear, and he's gonna build the gap, I believe, because of the battery advantage he has.
Yeah. I'd like to point out that Florida has just set the fastest lap with a 1:19.6, only 3 tenths faster than Rigraph's lap on the hards. So I don't know. Are we sure whether or not these softs were the right choice?
So let's keep an eye out on Zarki's gap to Seb and to Labib. So we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
Right
definitely.
now, the gap to Labib is 7.9, and Labib seems to be slower. The gap is increasing.
Right, but with 9 laps to go, will Zarky's tires fall off in time? And there you go. Zarky puts in much better time with the 1:18.2. So yeah.
That is
showed the
actually faster than
advantage.
some of the qualifying laps that the backmarkers have done.
Exactly. Are we
So
going to
he
see
seems to be on
Arrow
a
go for
charge.
a move? No, we're not. Just tucks in behind Labib. Both of them going a little bit wide on the exit over that curb. Not something that you want to do too much. Looks like Labib's staying ahead for now, though.
Yeah. Aero seems to be pushing his battery all the way, constantly under 5%. That might be a smart move, to be honest, because DRS is so powerful and he's gonna keep the DRS if he stays within 1 second.
Yeah. Someone that I'm watching right now is Florida on the back of Condor the Fox. Just riding him so closely. Just too
Almost
tense,
pushing
too
into the
tense.
corners.
Right?
Wow.
To this middle sector, Florida's gonna back off just a little bit, just to make sure that it doesn't run into the back of Condor. But
Oh,
I don't know.
yellow flag. That is black in the Alpha Tower. He has managed to get going again, so no chance of a safety car there.
Yeah, it looks like there isn't any damage going on. Honestly, that might give Seb some dirty air if Black doesn't move out of the way quickly.
That has actually cost Regraph a bit because he went wide onto the exit of turn 4, and the gap to Seb was under a second, but now it has built back up.
Yeah,
As Seb gets
riding
hampered by the
inside,
dirty air. Yeah.
that's always super distracting when you're inside of a back marker.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely not something that you want to happen.
Yeah, we always encourage the backmarkers to respect the blue flags and move out of the way. Even if you're ghosted, it can still be a hindrance to the drivers in front.
Exactly. So as I believe it was 2 laps ago when we made a note of this, but Zarki's only pulled out about a second to Labib in the past lap.
Yeah, and he hasn't managed to get the gap down to Seb at all. He has actually increased the gap.
Right?
So
Actually,
maybe
it's like
Seb and Regraph are just on another level, or maybe the tires aren't that great right now.
you say that, but it looks like Labib is actually starting to close in already. Has made up 6/10 in just a couple of corners.
Yeah, so I think we might have been right with our prediction that softs are not a great race tire.
Yeah, the thing is, if that's the case, will Labib have enough time left in the Grand Prix to catch Zarki? 7.5 seconds, that is dropping quickly, but there's only 6 laps left.
That should be interesting to watch.
It'd be a spectacle to see if Labib were to be able to come back for a podium. As Gibbs has retired, that could be crucial.
And he is out of the track.
Yeah, it's kind of close to the track, to be honest. I would expect a safety car, but I don't think we're going to be getting one.
Yeah, not even a VSC. The marshals seem to be doing a great job here, as the car is clear. No safety car.
All right, there we go. And Florida still behind Condor the Fox. So a bit surprising that he hasn't been able to pass him yet. Maybe it is just those soft tires not working out the way that was expected.
Right, so Seb now behind the backmarker of an Alfa Romeo, which just does not seem to be giving him space to move aside. That is quite frustrating as a driver.
That was the Alfa Romeo of Buffalo Trace, so come on, Buffalo, we expect better from you.
Yes, Buffalo Trace, of course, a great broadcaster for the Zoom Racing League.
Love you, Buffalo. As Forza Abdul decides that he's had enough and retires in the pits. Yeah, what was looking like a great race for him, just unfortunately turned out to be, yeah, not the best.
Yeah, can't really blame him, as his retired car drives back onto the circuit, which is great.
So, we're getting towards these final stages. This car almost got in the way of our 2 leaders, but both Rigraph and Seb have no battery. However, Seb is in DRS range of Rigraph. Looks like Seb is just ever so slightly closing that gap.
Yeah, the pace difference seems to be quite minimal around between these two guys. It's just some corners. Oh, as Seb goes deep,
That
that
is
was a
going to
mistake.
cost him a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, definitely 2.5 seconds. Super unfortunate from all the progress that he's made catching up to the back of Rigraph, but that will give Rigraph a chance to breathe a little bit, chance to maybe recover some battery in
Oh,
case he needs to defend against Seb.
I'm not sure what is going on. That might have been lag because on my screen he's back up to where he was before.
Really? Oh no,
That
it's
might have
more.
been some lag. Yeah, he's
Oh, yeah,
one
there we
second.
go.
Yep.
Yeah, he's back for me now too. Alright,
Some connection issues. That is to be expected from a Codemasters game.
of course.
But yeah, within 1 second, but not within 1 second where it mattered, and that is the DRS detection point.
Exactly.
And he might actually be running a bit low on fuel. We have the red fuel light pop up on Seb's car,
You're right.
which is
That's,
which is a bit concerning.
thought it was the yellow fuel lights.
Yeah, I believe so, but for some reason it's red.
Huh.
Maybe Mercedes prefer it that way.
I don't know, maybe. But yeah, a bit odd. You would think this isn't a track that eats up too much fuel, so
Yeah, he
I'm
might have
confusing as
anticipated a
no,
safety car.
Lviv.
Oh,
Lviv's gotten a penalty. So I believe that will unfortunately tarnish any hopes that Lviv had of getting a podium. But we're approaching the
yeah.
main straight. Seb, 8/10 behind Rigraph, will have that DRS. We'll be deploying it through this straight as we have a horrible camera angle right now. Let's go change it to the onboard cam. It's closed about 3/10.
I believe the wiser move would be to stay within the RS and try to build up a little bit of battery and attack on the final lap. What do you
Yeah,
think?
definitely. I mean, with these two drivers, they're so similarly paced that without battery, it will be very hard to pass, even with the DRS.
Exactly. These are crucial moments in the race.
Seb is getting so close to the back of Rigraph.
Yeah, if only he had just a little more battery, it would be an easy move down the main straight for him, staying within half a second of the car in front. As Condor the Fox has made a move on Florida. Florida
Nice.
trying to fight it back.
Yeah, Florida's
And
been
Condor-
trying for this move for quite
And
some
Condor
time.
defending like a fox. That is great to see.
Yeah, good little analogy. So let's actually go back to the front. Seb's gonna be trying again on Rigraph.
Yeah, DRS helps, but what's more important is the battery. And
Yeah,
he just
but-
doesn't have it.
With this exit that Seb's gotten, but again, not good enough just because that DRS not super useful around this track. Only 2 laps to go, so
Yeah, the DRS in general has not been the most powerful. We have seen it before, So it's mostly about the battery and managing your battery well.
I'm curious.
And they seem to be equal right now.
For sure. I'm curious because of what's happened to Rigraph. I mean, he was leading quite comfortably over Seb. Has Rigraph seen some overheating issues? Has Seb just decided to turn on the jets? Not sure.
Yeah, I believe Seb is just pushing a lot more than Rigraph is. That might be it. But that was a bit of a mistake. He went deep. into turn 14,
Yeah, a
turn
little
12,
bit.
I believe, turn 11. I'm not sure. Which is might, which
And
is oh
Seb's left
Seb
the session.
disconnected. Yeah,
Oh, that's
that is
crucial.
that is heartbreaking to see. You do not ever want to see that happening, especially on the last lap of the race while being in
Exactly.
DRS.
Oh man, even as the Ferrari team principal, of course I want Regraph to win, but you know, you never want to see that. You never want to see an honest competitor just, you know, suffering from things out of his control, such as disconnection. Super unfortunate this is the way that the race had to end.
Yeah, that is gonna be heartbreaking for Seb, and a bit anticlimactic for the broadcast, but
I know.
nonetheless, we have seen quite an interesting chase from Seb and Regraph.
Yeah, it's
Seb has been the one chasing, of course.
been a good fight
Yeah.
between the two of them. Super unfortunate that it had to end in this way, but sometimes that is just the way that the cookie crumbles. Unfortunately, really good
Very
race from
unfortunate.
Seb, especially his 0 debut.
That is quite a great debut, to be honest. All
Yeah.
the team principals are gonna have an eye on him, and as his car runs out of fuel, I think. Yeah,
Oh, has it? It
yeah, it
does.
has.
And as we turn to this man, Rick Raff, who's won his first Grand Prix of the season, I'm sure first of many, will be taking over the lead of the Drivers' Championship with this. Although, you know, a little bit early to say that, only 2 races in. Seb to come home P2, running out of fuel on the line. Zarki coming home P3, big points for Haas right there. Labib with an excellent recovery drive, going from 4th to 14th, I believe, back up to 4th place on a track notoriously difficult to overtake on. Very strong result from him. Arrow to finish 5th, Shutter to finish 6th, Ponder the Fox, Christian Cummins, and Aaron G to line up our drivers that were not lapped. And Florida. Oh, Florida's actually finishing the race without a wing. Yeah, we missed what happened there. People
Yeah,
who were lapped were Big Elbro, Buffalo Trace, who you predicted in the top 10, but was unfortunately 2 places off.
unfortunate. Unfortunate for both of them.
Yeah, Hokage Rolly, George Russell, and I didn't exactly catch who was the last driver to finish.
Driver of the day, Aero, and
Who do you
well
give it up
deserved.
to?
Well deserved.
Yeah,
I
Arrow?
give it to Aero. Yeah,
Definitely. I
that
mean, I have
was
to
a great
agree.
drive, all the way from P20, I think, and yeah, that's a great drive.
Yeah, he started in dead last. Had a very tough time in qualifying, but was able to turn it around in the race. So really good
Exactly.
from him.
It my second driver of the day would be Labib, of course, after that great recovery drive,
For sure.
starting P4 and falling down all the way to P15 or P16, and then climbing his way back up to where he started.
Yeah, definitely really impressive to see that.
But yeah, Aero from P20 to P5, that is a great recovery.
Definitely. So let's just round of finishes. Zarki got an extra point for the fastest lap. Black and Beverly were the last of the finishers. Unfortunately, these were the people who DNF'd: Kahuna, Drip, Gibbs, and Abdul. I believe Abdul actually would have gotten points if he just completed a couple more laps. Retired pretty close to the end, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, let's try and get some of these people in for an interview.
Definitely. As we regraph in the waiting room now, let's see if we can get Zarki and
Zarki,
Seven.
I'm
Yeah,
not sure what.
Zarki isn't named Zarki. Zarki's something else. I don't remember what. Let me just check the D4 attendance. No, it is at Zarki.
Okay, yeah. We have Zarki in the waiting room. Let's pull him in.
Yeah. Hey, Zarki. How you doing, man?
I'm good. Thank you.
So how do you think your race went? Walk us through it.
Yeah, it was a bit difficult just fighting tire temps the whole race. And
Yes.
yeah, I had
But
to go off the mediums a bit too early. So the softs were giving out in the end. But
yeah, that was quite an interesting strategy we saw from you. Not many other drivers did that. I believe only one other driver tried that strategy.
yeah, hoping for the safety car, but
That does make sense.
it never
But yeah,
came.
you still made it work, and P3 is an amazing result for the Haas team.
Yep.
So
Yeah, just
at the beginning of the race, we saw you were having you were looking really strong, and then you dropped off due to tire temperatures. Were you aware of the effect that the new patch had on tire temps?
yeah, I just hadn't I didn't have enough time to test my setup in a Grand Prix, so
Okay, I understand. I understand.
yeah, so yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, that is unfortunate, but still, nonetheless, a great drive from you, and hopefully, we see you up here interviewing in the future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, take care, man. Have a good one.
Now, I
Let's
don't think we have Seb in here. Oh wait, we do.
do
He's
we?
in the Mercedes chat.
Oh, there we go. Seb, what is going on, man? Ah. Seb, you there?
He might. Oh, he did disconnect at the end, so he might be having issues with his connection. So we'll just
Yeah.
pull in the regraph for now.
Sure, yeah, we'll stick Seb in the waiting room and interview Regraph. Yo, Regraph, how you doing, man?
What's up, man? I'm good.
That's great. So, walk us through your race. You qualified on pole. It's looking really good. What do you make of it?
Yeah, yeah, I was happy with qualifying. Everything went great. Lap one. The only thing I'd do different is probably just not cover the inside. I don't think I had to do that, which gave Zarsky the outside line, and he got around me turn one. But it was okay. I knew the race wasn't going to be won on lap one, but other than that, I knew to be maintaining pace. Seb kept me on my toes though, and kept me honest the whole race, which was fun. Uh, I was afraid it was going to be boring, but it wasn't. It wasn't at all. Seb had really good race pace, so it was fun.
Yeah, that definitely wasn't a boring race for us to watch. You were making quite a lot of smart decisions, I have to say. You were pushing at the
Thank you.
right moments, and when you needed to pull out a gap, you managed to do that. So great
Yep.
drive from
Thank
you,
you.
great win, and congratulations.
Thanks. Thanks.
Seb, no, say you're no, Seb, you're Regraph. Regraph. I just like to ask, throughout the race, you looks like you were maintaining a pretty sizable gap on whoever was in second. But then toward the end, that gap started to drop more and more until it looked like Seb and you were battling fairly closely. Um, why was
Yeah.
that? Were you having issues with tire temperatures, or what was going on?
Honestly, that's yeah. I'm still confused by that actually, because I know that there was one time. I feel like I didn't make any mistakes. Seb went wide, and the next thing I know, he was right back. So it might. I don't think it was tire temps, but and it might have had something to do with DRS from lap traffic. I'm not for sure, but yeah, he kept closing that gap. I would like Sid said, I would just try to build a gap whenever I would see him closing it. So
Yeah, definitely. Well, all right.
Yeah, I
I
think
mean,
Seb might have just pulled out some time from the back of the hat at the end there, tried to catch you, but it was
yeah,
unfortunate that he disconnected at the end.
yeah, that was unfortunate.
Yeah. So about the strategy, what were you thinking with Zarki at the end, trying the medium soft? Were you worried, or
Yeah,
were
I was
you
actually.
sure that it
Oh, I
wasn't gonna
was.
work?
I at first I wasn't worried. Then the next thing I know, it felt like every lap I was going by somebody that was spinning off, and so I was just waiting for a safety car. But luckily, I mean, somehow that never came. I don't know.
Yeah, the marshals did a great job this weekend clearing all the cars really quick.
Yeah, the
So
marshals.
yeah, that was good luck for you. So
Yeah, yeah.
hopefully we see you up here in the broadcast booth interviewing next week and after that as well.
Yep, that's the goal.
Good drive. See you, man.
Thanks, mate. Thanks.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
All right, let's pull Seb in one more time. See if he's come back.
All
Actually,
right.
let's see it. Hey Seb, how you doing, man?
No, I believe he's still not here. That's unfortunate. We would have liked to hear his thoughts.
Yeah, definitely. Especially about what happened at the end of the race.
Unfortunate for Sep.
Yeah.
Anyway, that has been the Division 4 broadcast at round 2 of season 5 at Hungary. And this was a great race. What do you think, Peter?
Yeah, I
Great.
really enjoyed myself. I thought it was a great race to watch, great race to commentate, especially that I had someone commentating with me.
Yeah.
Yeah, super entertaining, and I'm looking forward to broadcasting more in the future.
Yeah, definitely. It was a fun morning for me. And I hope to do this again with you.
Yeah, for sure. As do I. I'd just like to remind everyone that we have Division 3, Division 2, and Division 1 coming up, as well as Division X. Division X will be at noon tomorrow on Saturday, EST. Division 3 will be at 8 o'clock, and Division 2 will be at 10 p.m., with Division 1 being Sunday night at 10 p.m. We hope you can tune into those, see more exciting action here in the Zoom Racing League. And I believe that is it, unless you have anything else to add.
No, I think that is it. See you guys in the D3 race. Hopefully
See you.
you all will join to watch that. So
Take care, everyone.